If you believe that the best prime mover of World War II is the Morris Quad, you're wrong. Maybe you think it was the US M4 high-speed tractor. Also wrong. The best prime mover of the war didn't belong to the Allies at all. It belonged to the Axis, though it wasn't German. The Italian military's Fiat SPA TM-40 was the best artillery prime mover of the war. Now, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. A look at the Fiat SPA TM-40. And this example is the only one on display in the United States. It has great ground clearance, a bit over 3 feet of clearance from ground to frame, and that is with the vehicle fully loaded. A tight turning radius, only 17 feet. For perspective, that was about half the turning radius of the venerated Deuce and a Half, and a drivetrain that was so advanced for World War II that it made German engineers jealous. It was classified as a medium tractor, but it performed as a heavy tractor. The TM-40 would enter production in mid-1941, although very slowly, meaning by the end of 1941, only 48 had been made. In 1942, another 99 were made, bringing the total number of SPA TM-40 prime movers made for World War II to 147. Now, Germany would manufacture 153 for their own military during World War II, including some with wooden beds. Those were designated T-40. A bit of a backstory. Throughout the early 1930s, the Italian Army had developed and used various light and medium trucks to tow artillery pieces. The most prominent, the TL-37. It was successful enough as a light artillery tractor, but the need for more prompted the General Directorate of Motorization within the Royal Italian Army to initiate a competition in 1938, a competition to find a more powerful tractor to support Army field and anti-aircraft artillery. The same year, SPA, a division of Fiat Motors, entered that competition, which was a contest between SPA, Alfa Romeo, Breda, and Lancia. In the end, the military chose the model presented by Fiat SPA. It, the SPA TM-40, had a stronger engine, higher top-end speed, more torque, and better towing capacity. Despite the name, TM, which abbreviation translated to medium tractor, it actually fulfilled the role of a heavy artillery tractor or prime mover. The TM-40 is powered by a 6-cylinder Type 366 Variant 8 4-stroke diesel engine, providing 110 horsepower at 2,000 RPM. Top speed under load was around 27 miles per hour. Even with the cast iron block and heads, this 6-cylinder engine's weight was only around 2,094 pounds. It had overhead valves, adjustable tappets. The crank was supported by 7 main bearings. The cylinder heads are mounted, one for each of the 3 cylinders, with decompression valves located laterally on the right. Engine and clutch in a single block suspended from the frame in 3 points. The front one consists of a shelf suspended on a tubular crosspiece of the frame. The 2 rear ones are made up of shelves fixed to the side members and equipped with wheels, which, when the engine is removed, rest on longitudinal rails, also fixed on the side members themselves. This arrangement allows the engine to be removed from the front of the truck for any servicing. This engine was mated to a 5 forward gear, 1 reverse gear transmission. Now, how about that transmission? That was actually the SPA TM-40's best feature. A conventional transmission with prop shafts going to rear axles. Every wheel of the SPA TM-40 had its own drive shaft coming from a central transfer case. 4 separate shafts ran at angles to each wheel. This design solution delivered maximum power to each wheel with very little parasitic loss. This is what allowed the SPA TM-40 to punch well above its weight when towing. Also, this was a huge advantage in ground clearance capability. The underside of the vehicle had little to get hung up on. In terrain, where other trucks got stuck on their axles or hit prop shafts, the TM-40 could clear without contact of the undercarriage. And as I mentioned before, maneuverability, turning radius. The TM-40 was fully steerable, not just at the front, but both the front and rear wheels turned at the same time. This increased maneuverability, and the steering was not puny or prone to snapping or distortion. These steering components meant business and were built to handle. Like I said, this prime mover, because of the engine and transmission, was able to punch well above its intended weight. It was truly a monster, easily pulling 9 tons while traveling at almost 30 miles per hour. It had room for a driver, ATC, plus a 6-person gun crew, and was used from the deserts of North Africa to the frozen steppes of the Eastern Front. Knowing how brutal winters would be on that Eastern Front, Italian engineers installed a special engine preheater behind the driver's seat, allowing the diesel to start even when other vehicles wouldn't. But there were downsides. The fact that Italy could not logistically get parts to the front to maintain the vehicle was one. The fact that the Italian industry could not keep up with the demand for production was two. The TM-40. It was robust, it was durable, and in my opinion, the best wheeled vehicle of World War II. But it was made by a country whose industry situation ensured failure the day that it entered the war. And that lesson was one of many that allowed us to win the war, and a lesson that should not be forgotten today.